κάνετε ρε παιδιά?
Καλημέρα, καλημέρα.
Καλημέρα, τι λέει?
Όλα καλά.
Παιδιά, δεν σε έδωσα. Ομάδα της εμείς. Τι κάνω? Αυτό το ξύλο πού θα πω? Αυτό.
Αυτό θα πάει κάτω. Μέσα θα πω.
Και αυτό θα πάει εδώ. Κρατάς δυνατά αυτό και αυτό κατεβά. Και εδώ παίρνει τόσο. Θα πας αυτό και έχει ένα κουμπί εδώ. Τώρα το πατάς και γίνει. Ναι, θα πατήσεις αυτό πρώτα.
Μέχρι κάτω.
Πες το, πάμε μετά.
Α, δεν πάει μέχρι κάτω, θες μέχρι κάτω.
Μέχρι κάτω.
Μέχρι
Από την άλλη μεριά να περάσει.
Δεν πάει μέχρι κάτω. Ναι. Έχεις οδηγό, όχι.
I'm here to make my first effort on making holes. Everyone can find a relative to him to learn him how to start. I asked from our family friend, Mr. Yannis Koyas, to show me how to make effectively those holes. And he has a very big laboratory for furniture. And I prefer to use some more professional tools for safety reasons, only for this part of the construction. All the other things will happen in home, because we are in home edition construction. Okay, all the work has been completed here. We wanted to have a direct line for those pieces of wood. The rest will happen in home, and after we drink 1 liter of cold water, we can continue. Fortunately, we drank some water because here is very, very hot, and then we move on. Now the temperature is extremely high, 42 degrees Celsius. Of course, we're going to continue in our home with air conditioning. And it was the first time that I went inside a laboratory for woods, and I liked it a lot. I hope that I would do more holes. And I'm very, very thankful to Mr. Yannis Koyas, who taught me how to make the holes correctly and give me this brilliant result. We are back in home. Fortunately, we have our air conditioning open because outside the temperatures are extremely high. And today we will do together a vertical farming construction from scratch. So first of all, what is vertical farming? Vertical farming is a prototype technique in which we use less space to create huge amounts of plant. My construction has to be simple, easy and low cost. And it will not just be vertical, it will be scaled and oriented. I have made many designs, but this one I think is the simplest. I had some issues doing the design. First of all, I wanted all the plants to have access in the sun, and this design gives to us this opportunity. Previously, I had made a design that was scaled in the wall, but this one didn't have the chance to move. That was a problem. But here, we have the chance to move due to the wheels. I will now present you and explain you my design. I have not created trails, but I have created separate floors, one in the front and one in the rear. That will help because in this way the sun can target from the upper to the down plant. Here we have the two big pillars in which the floors are stabled. And then we have our basement, which has wheels, so that can help us move our construction. And they are actually connected with a metal material with our pillars, so that our construction will be very, very stable. In my construction, I have two pillar woods, which are those ones, and they have 13 holes, which are for our actual floor, and they have a distance of 15 centimeters between each other. And then from the other side, we have 4 holes, which are for our T connection. Then we have our basement, 2 basement woods, which have 4 holes for our T connection. This is our metal T, which I'm speaking for. And from the other side, they have 2 holes, which are the only ones with 10 millimeters diameter. And that's related to the fact that I didn't find any other wheels available. And finally, we have our actual floor, which is number 3, and we have 10 wood parts for our floors, and they have 2 holes which will be connected with our threaded rod, this one in the shape. Now we'll create the T connection, which you can see here is the connection between our pillar and our basement. So our T is this one. I will use 2 T's per pillar, and I will start by taking a screw, putting it to our hold, and then I will pass it from the hold in the wood. And then I need to take one more T to cover my wood. Okay. It didn't go down. Now I'm getting a nut and I'm closing the connection here. It went down, no problem. You can see here our T connection has been completed successfully, and the basement connection with our pillar has been completed as our design shows here. For my construction, I will use 10 rods. They have a length of 33 centimeters. Actually, they are not all of them 33 because there are some small differences, but I have found a distance from the start which is safe, and that is 14.3 centimeters. and that will be the place that I will put my first nut. Here in our shape, you can see this is the rod that we will use, and now I will start putting inside my nut. And now I will count if we have found the correct distance. No, it's not. We need to put a bit more inside. 2 more centimeters. Okay, we're okay. I will prepare the other 9 rods and then I will place them inside the holes of my wood. Now I have to put a washer before our nut and put the rod inside the hold. And I have to do the same from the opposite side. Now, when I'm pressing, you see it's stuck, it cannot get inside. So now I need to use a connection nut. I will put it in the upper part. I don't want the rod to be greater than my nut, and then I will take my hammer and I will start hitting. And that's it. I will now put the screws who are responsible for my wheels, but no, it's difficult to get in. I have to hit it with a hammer. We have completed our construction after many hours of work, but it seems stable and I'm very proud of it. So take care and stay tuned for our next video, which will be on how we will put the plants on our floors, explained from scratch. Today is the next day. I observed that there is a mistake in my construction. Although it's very stable in the movement from the front to the back side, there is a problem in the movement from right to the left. And if I move it, you can see that it's not stable. I have kept our pillars very stable because of my metal T piece construction there down. And according to my geometry knowledge, there are two ways to keep this rectangle unmoved. The first one is to create a metal construction like the one that we created down there to have 90 degrees. And the other way is to keep our diagonals same. So that is the technique that we will use. And that's because I have some woods that they have not been used earlier, and it will be easily applicable to our current construction. Now it's extremely stable. There is no movement from left to right, and we should say that our construction can be used. As you can see from all the sides, there is no movement and everything works. So stay tuned till our next video, in which I will show you how to put your plants and how to fill all this construction with 60 plants to be grown. So goodbye.